But this is Churchill Downs in 1987, where that paddock used to be is now a beer garden for the fans on hand. And the paddock, well, look at this, a brand new saddling enclosure and walking ring. Plenty of room for the horses and their connections, and plenty of room for the spectators to have a look at them as they pass in review. Well, here we are back again live at Churchill Downs, the Derby trial coming up very shortly. And a week from today, the Kentucky Derby itself, the beginning of the Triple Crown Series, which has added incentive this year in the person of a $5,000 total purse for anybody who can win all three races, $5 million. Anybody who can win all three races of the Triple Crown, $1 million bonus if there's no Triple Crown winner to the horse who runs in all three races and accumulates the most points on a new point system. But today is the Derby trial, and at Churchill Downs there's been good news and bad news. The good news is the weather, the Derby trial coming up, and a big crowd. The bad news, well, two horses appear to be out of the field for the Derby, and they're important horses. Yesterday morning, Temperate Sill stood in his stall, and the rumors began to go around. The rumors were that he was sick, that he had a temperature, that he might not run, and unfortunately on this occasion, the rumors turned out to be well-founded. I'm standing right now with Charlie Whittingham, who won this race last year for the first time at the age of 73. And, well, Charlie, you've had these things happen before, but it's a tough one. Shortly before the Derby, is your horse out?
Yes, he'll be out. I won't enter him in the race because he has a little virus infection, and it's getting better, but you can't lose that much time. Even a day or two makes a difference when you're running in a race like the Kentucky Derby.
Nothing important, but could he make the Preakness?
It's possible, but I don't know whether we'll try too hard because you still don't know how long this will hang on a few days where you can't do much with him.
Have you released rider Bill Shoemaker from his commitment?
Yes, I have. I talked to Bill this morning, and he has a good chance to ride one of Mr. Jolly's horses, so I'll be rooting for him anyway.
You know which one yet?
No, I don't know which one he'd choose, or which one Leroy thinks he would ride better. That'd be up to them.
Okay, thank you very much, Charlie. And again,
welcome, Jim.
You've been through it before, but it's tough this year.
But we got it last year. You can't have everything, you know.
See you next year.
You bet.
Okay. Charlie Whittingham, one of the great men in the history of this game. And so the spotlight begins to fall more and more on the horse who will be the favorite here, it appears, next week. His name is Demons Be Gone. He comes out of Arkansas, and he's a good story. The sound of the power saw is ever present in the environs of Bearden, Arkansas, because this is timber country, thousands of acres of loblolly pine, and the biggest lumberman there is John Ed Anthony, who also owns the favorite for this year's Kentucky Derby. Demons Be Gone has run like a demon bewitched in his races this spring, all, however, in the friendly confines of Arkansas. Owner Anthony and his young trainer Phil Hauswald are delighted with the colt. His victory margins have been large, his times very fast, but some question the quality of the Demons' competition. Jockey Pat Day hasn't had to push him yet, but thinks he'll respond when necessary. Now, this was his latest victory in the Arkansas Derby. Jockey Day hand-riding him to another easy win. However, in his 3 wins at Oaklawn, he didn't face a single stakes winner. So Demons Be Gone has a Derby in his saddlebag, but the big one's next Saturday. John Ed couldn't be more confident.
This year, he's done everything we've asked him to do. He's done it easily, and he's coming up to the Derby and as a fresh horse. He's gotten better every race, as horses must, and if he continues to improve, I think the critics will be looking for a place to hide on Derby Day.
So Temperate Sill is out, Demons Be Gone is the favorite, and another of the favorites is out of the Kentucky Derby. His name, Talonum, another tough break for Wayne Lukas, who certainly has difficulty winning this race. He has never won the big one, you know. For more on that story now, let's go to Dave Johnson.
Well, from the D. Wayne Lukas stable, 17 3-year-olds were nominated to this year's Triple Crown. And after Thursday's Bluegrass Stakes, well, it appeared as if Team Lukas would send 3, a trio, to the Run for the Roses. Capote's last year's 2-year-old champ, War, the winner of the Bluegrass, albeit on a disqualification, and Talonum, hero of the Flamingo Stakes at Hialeah. There isn't a better grapevine than the one here at the racetrack, and word spread quickly through the barn area at Churchill Downs. There was trouble at the Lukas barn with Talonum. Earlier today, I talked with assistant trainer Jeff Lukas and asked if Talonum was out of the Kentucky Derby.
Well, at this point, Dave, it looks like he is. He returned from his morning gallop this morning. Walking back to the barn fine, but when we stopped to bathe him, when he walked off, he was showing definite lameness in his left front leg. We examined him closely with our attending veterinarian and watched him. He seemed to get a little better as he cooled out. However, we took some x-rays on a portable machine in the stall, and although we don't have anything real conclusive as far as fractures, there is an area of concern in his left knee that we're going to look closely at tomorrow. He's scheduled to be shipped to a local clinic for a complete set of x-rays and a complete examination. and we'll just try to look for something concrete and try to find out exactly what we're dealing with at that time.
And what about the status of the other two definite starters from Team Lucas, Capote and War?
Capote remains in New York. He's scheduled for a workout at Belmont Park on Monday. As of right now, he'll be here on Wednesday, have 2 gallops over the track Thursday and Friday, and run on Saturday. War is back on the grounds after competing in the Bluegrass and running very well. We'll probably have a short breeze late in the week sometime, just a little something to stretch his legs and go into the Derby off of the race in the Bluegrass.
So the game of 10 Little Indians has begun, and 2 of them dropped out today. Unfortunately, 2 very promising horses there in Temperate-Sill and Talentum. Charles Canty with me now. Now the game of musical jockeys begins, because Leroy Jolly has 2 good horses. He has no jockeys so far that we know.
2 very talented colts and 2 empty saddles, but he will have no trouble filling either saddle, I think, with any good rider in the business. And you just heard Charlie Whittingham say that it looks as though Bill Shoemaker will be riding one of these colts. He has Gulch, of course, who we saw really come back to that top 2-year-old form he had last year by winning the Wood Memorial. And he's got Leo Castelli, who was so unlucky to be beaten in the Bluegrass day before yesterday, and he will be day before.
You were right.
Time flies. And both of these colts have a style that will shoot Bill Shoemaker to a T. They both want to relax, come from off the pace, and certainly Bill knows his way around Churchill Downs. 24 trips and 4 wins.
Gary Stevens is also available after Talentum being out today, but of course it doesn't have to be those 2 riders. Leroy could depend on Jacinto Vasquez, who's he's ridden in the past, or some other top riders who are available. That Bluegrass was very interesting. Ali Sheba disqualified, but you can't count him out of the race.
No, not at all. He's had a lot of difficult luck getting back to the races this year. He's had more setbacks, and now he finally got the winning race going and had the misfortune to have jumped the tire tracks.
Right now, Gretna Green at 7-1, on the line at 3-1, Santa Clara Chief at 35-1, the favorite. Odds-on favorite, No More Flowers at 1-2. The other horses in the field, Funny Tunes at 17-1, Contractor's Tune at 16-1, and David L's Rib at 13-1. Now let's have a look at No More Flowers. He's the favorite in this race, finished a very strong and impressive second in the Florida Derby, a late blooming horse who has really been coming into his own, trained by Happy Alder, ridden today by Walter Guerra. On the line is the second favorite in the race from the Wayne Lucas stable. He always seems to be in there one way or another. The jockey Pat Day, who has already ridden 3 winners here today, including the last 2 races. He has a great record at Churchill Downs. We asked him if that'll give him an advantage in the Derby.
Well, I might feel a little more at home here than the riders that are shipping in for the Derby, but I don't think that it gives me what you'd call a real advantage. I think all the riders that'll participate in the Derby will probably have 1 or 2 rides before the Derby, which will give them a chance to feel the racetrack, and certainly they'll be watching the races to see if there's any bias to the racetrack, and consequently, I don't really think that that's a great advantage.
Well, Pat Day, who's riding the second favorite in this race, but he'll be on the favorite for the Kentucky Derby. Demons Be Gone a week from today. Charles Canty with me again, and this one looks like a 1-horse race.
Well, No More Flowers is certainly a legitimate 1-2 shot. He's been keeping all the best company in all the top races. And he really does loom to be a standout this afternoon, and it really is going to be nothing more than a public workout. In fact, his trainer, Happy Alter, said that the only reason he was running him today was so he could see the paddock and get a feel of the racetrack. So
he also does seriously seem to feel that it's important for him to see this racetrack and the tents out in the infield and really get the feel of Churchill Downs. Well, we're going to find out as we come to you, bringing you the Derby trial. They'll be headed for the starting gate very shortly. Dave Johnson will be on hand for the call, so let's take a commercial break and then come back. In the post for the Derby trial at Churchill Downs. Let's take a final look at the odds board. Gretna Green at 8-1, on the line, second favorite at 3-1, Santa Clara Chief 40-1. The favorite, No More Flowers, at 1-2, and the rest of the field, Funny Tunes, 19-1, Contractor's Tune, 17-1, and David L's Rib, 16-1. Any final thoughts here, Charlie? They're going to be going in soon.
Well, there is a little bit of speed in there, but of course No More Flowers does not have to have that lead. It's a long run from the starting gate down the backstretch here at Churchill Downs into the only turn. They race 1 mile around 1 turn here, so there'll be some vying for that early lead.
Then they come into that long home stretch at Churchill Downs. It's one of the longest in American racing. There's the last horse to win the Derby trial and the Kentucky Derby, Tim Tam. That was a long time ago, some 29 years ago. Of course, in those days, it was run even closer to the Kentucky Derby, 4 days before the big one. Trainer Ben Jones, for one, used to favor that. there is the 2-horse that's on the line from the Wayne Lukas stable, ridden by Pat Day, and he is hot today.
Yeah, he'll be the one. If No More Flowers makes any mistakes at all, On the Line will be the one to pick up the pieces.
Number 3, Santa Clara Chief going in. Let's throw it now for the call of the race to Dave Johnson.
Beautiful day, fast track, 28,047, an all-time opening day record. Let's watch and listen to the horses as they load into the gate for the start of the 1-mile Derby trial. That's trainer J.C. Wagner directing the assistant starters, moving the field into line.
You all right now? All right.
No. And they're off. From between horses, Funny Tunes. Along the inside, there goes Santa Clara Chief on the outside, David L's Rib. Now it's David L's Rib on the outside, battling with Santa Clara Chief at the rail. 2 back, on the line with Pat Day, takes third and moves up along the inside. The favorite, No More Flowers, is 4th between horses. On the outside, Funny Tunes now races 5th and gains. After that, it's Contractor's Tune on the outside, and Gretna Green is 7th at the rail. The trailers, they move down the backstretch. Santa Clara Chief with Michael McDowell leads it by a head as Pat Day pushes on the line through on the inside. Those 2 now race as a team. On the inside, the D. Wayne Lukas horse on the line takes the lead by a neck. On the outside, Santa Clara Chief back into second by 2.5. Then it's David L's Rib in third. After that, the favorite No More Flowers in 4th. Contractor's Tune, but Sandy Hawley is 5th by 2. Then the great colt Funny Tunes, and Gretna Green trails the 7 quite spread out as they move to the top of the stretch. And On the Line, who is big as a 2-year-old, is even bigger this afternoon, getting a lot of heart on the front end with a 1/4 mile to go as No More Flowers and Walter Guerra on the outside take second as they come through the stretch. It's On the Line in front, holding on to the lead by 3.5 lengths. Here comes on the outside No More Flowers trying to close the gap, but it doesn't look like he's going to make it. With a 1/16 of a mile to go, Pat Day has On the Line in front, in hand. The whip is out and not being used. On the Line, the winner by 7. On the outside, No More Flowers finishes second. Contractor's Tune third. After that, it was Funny Tunes, and the remaining 3 far back. Pat Day moved through on the inside, taking the lead from Santa Clara Chief, and No More Flowers simply didn't fire this afternoon. Another big win for Pat Day, his 4th of the day. Another win, a big win for the D. Wayne Lukas stable.
Well, good news and bad news for the D. Wayne Lukas stable today. One of his favorite horses for the Derby, Talonham, is out injured in training this morning. But suddenly, here comes On the Line by Mehmet, ridden by Pat Day to win the Derby trial. That creates a problem, I think, possibly for the Lucases. Do they put him in now as the 3rd horse in their entry? And what about No More Flowers? Was he good enough to run a week from now? So, let's see if we can get a word with Pat. Pat, that's 4 for the day. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Think you got another Derby horse for Wayne Lukas there?
Well, they sure run big today.
Okay. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much, sir.
The winner of the Derby trial, On the Line. Here are the official results. The winner paying $8.60, $3 and $2.80. No More Flowers, $2.40 and $2.40. He was the favorite, remember, the odds-on favorite. Contractor's Tune, $5. The time, 1:36 3/5, is off both the track and the stakes record. Let's take a look at the official order of finish. On the Line, followed by No More Flowers, Contractor's Tune, Funny Tunes, and the 3 final finishers, David L's Rib, Gretna Green, and Santa Clara Chief. And with us now live is Jeff Lukas on the scene, representing himself and his father, Wayne Lukas, trainer of On the Line, the horse owned by Gene Klein. And this has sure been a day of the good news and the bad news of racing for you.
Well, in a lot of ways, that's the nature of this game, and particularly with our stable, we always have setbacks with as many horses as we have, but we're always in action. There's always the next race, and we just try to overcome the downs and enjoy the ups, and certainly On the Line provided us with a thrill today.
But do we now have a 3rd horse again for the Derby?
Well, going into the race, we've always liked this horse, and we felt he'd run well today. he certainly ran an encouraging race to win by 7 lengths, but decision is not up to me. It'll be up to Mr. Klein and my father, who I'm sure are watching out there. And he's an improving colt, and we expect big things of him the rest of the year, whether he runs in the Derby or not.
Briefly again, for those who weren't with us earlier, the bad news about Talonham.
Talonham, after a morning gallop this morning, came back and showed some signs of lameness. We've taken some precautionary x-rays. Nothing really concrete has shown up, and we'll just further evaluate him, but his status is extremely doubtful at this point.
Congratulations, though, on the good news, Jeff. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Jim.
Jeff Lucas. Now we're going to go back again to